Hi, welcome to another exciting episode of the Culture Podcast. My name is Fredrick. As I always say, when you see me in town, you can call me Brown. So today we have in our midst a very exciting personality. And as I always say, today we are going to digest everything we need to digest from the person, get every information and every educative measures we have to put in place to hear and learn from here. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like, and leave a comment. And when we finish, we'll interact with you as we always do. Okay, so welcome back. Like I said earlier, we have a very exciting person in our midst. She is the person of Madame Dorcas Kwao, an expert in HR management. She's an advocate for women and children. She's also a professional teacher, a transformational speaker, and a family life and sexuality counselor, UK and Christian Council what's
Certified.
certified. Yes, yes. And she's also a visionary entrepreneur with masters in leadership and governance, right?
Yeah.
Yes. As for the masters, some of us are now going to get ours. So when we see people with masters, you have to respect them. Madam, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you, Fred.
Yeah. So yeah, we call ourselves the Culture Podcast. We've been
Okay.
chasing you for some time, and today we finally got to. Yeah. So
I'm glad I am here today.
we are very glad you are able to be with us. Not to waste your time, we just want to know. Let's start with how you managed to achieve all this exciting profile of yourself.
Interesting enough, my dad especially wanted me to be a doctor. So in my schooling, I was in actual fact in a science class throughout. I went to do my science program in SS at Abakwa State College. Then after college, what happened is that my parents didn't have money for me to go to like university at that time, etc. I mean, the house was not too good. And that is how come I branched into teaching. So I'm actually a professional teacher. I went to Jascan Training College and I taught for 12 years.
Wow.
Yes. During that 12 years, then I started my degree program. And the amazing thing is that I've been in a science class all this while. But when I started the degree, that's when I was paying my own fees. So I could take the decision that I wanted because I am somebody who is even afraid of blood. So,
So how come your father wanted to be a doctor?
Charlie, they worry sometimes. That aspect of mine is a very interesting twist. I'd wanted to even do management, but I realized that, Charlie, I'm always burdened with people issues. So I was given counsel by one lady in my church who was at that time in the corporate space, well established in the corporate space, and said that, look, even what I see you do in church, you're a purpose person, so do HR. And I think that is true because I went in to do HR. I finished. Then I had the opportunity to be a senior admin at Central University. So I was at the HR department, the academic, not the HR as in the HR directorate, academic. And in that space, that is where I started my bidding. The bidding thing too was a default. It was not something I actually went to learn. As being an entrepreneur, I didn't go to learn anything. I chanced upon it on YouTube, loved it, saw people do things, and I decided to be. So most of the things I learned on YouTube. I didn't go to sit down to be trained because I love putting colors together, making people beautiful, etc. So after some time, I mean, people were buying and it's a good business. So I kept to it. Then after my training business, I switched off from being in an educational space and then I moved into a media space. When I came into the space, before I came into the space, I had applied to do my HR professional at the time. But what happened is that when I switched over and I came into media, I realized that Charlie, the work wasn't easy. Yes, there was a lot of pressure, and I was going to do weekend school. And at the time, weekend was when you have a lot of events and things. And Charlie, trying to be in class. In actual fact, I even started. You be in class and they'll be calling you plenty. And I realized that Charlie, this thing wasn't going to work. So I deferred for 1 year with a professional. And after 1 year, when I had settled in properly, I went out to do the professional course. I did it for 1 year, then I did a top up to certify. After that, I moved up in the ladder. So as I was moving up, I realized that I am very, very passionate about leadership because in church, I'm a covenant family leader. I am very serious to see people grow up and find their right fit in places. So because I do some form of mentoring, counseling, at the time I decided that, hey, this thing, the way it is going, I need to be professional about it because sometimes it's not just you reading and then maybe because you know how to read the Bible and do a little prayer, you are giving counseling to people. That is not it because counseling is much deeper. So I decided to go to Christian Council. They normally organize this sandwich counseling course. That also was also a push from a very good friend of mine, Mrs. Okwampa. Tina, God bless that lady so much. She really pushed me because the first time I decided not to go, I didn't go. And she was like, actually, I wanted you to do this thing. But when I started, it was 2 and 2. That one too took me about a whole year. And then I was able to finish that. And when I started that, I realized that when issues happen in terms of leadership, I get so angry. At the time, I had wanted to go to UPSA to do a certain master's course in entrepreneurship. So I was praying about it, honestly. I prayed about the whole thing. It wasn't settling so well in my spirit. One day I just came to the office and I was looking through schools. Then I chanced upon Central University's course in Masters in Leadership and Governance. And looking into the course outline, the things that entails the whole program, I realized that it was going to be exciting and it is something that I would want to do. And in all honesty, I have not regretted doing that course. So, that is how I have come. And I finished doing that. But as we see, you never stop learning. So every day I am learning in one way or the other. Even where you are seated, you learn with all the incidents that come up. And that is how far I have come. So for the entrepreneurship bit, it's something I do on the side and it's basically online. So I bid, I do exclusives, etc. And I put it online. People buy, mostly on my status and referral from friends. And
So
by the grace
with
of God, it's doing
all
well.
your crowded time, you still have time to just see them beat.
Oh, yeah. Yes. When I get home in the evenings, I do my bid at night. I can bid if I have a lot of order to do and I don't have a weekend to myself. I can bid from like 9 p.m. to about 2 a.m., do some 2 hours sleep and come to the office. Yes. Because at the time, I'm a single mother and had to take care of my child, and for which I must make sure that food is on the table every day. So you have to go to it. So I find time to do that. I really find time to do that.
Exciting. Okay, so let's dive into a little bit of your HR journey. Understand you are an HR manager
Yes.
for the AIB network.
Yeah.
A group HR. So it means you are managing more than 90 plus workers.
Yes.
How do you do that? For someone who is listening to us who wants to go into the HR system and the person gets to manage this large number of employers or employees, how do you do that?
I would want to say at this point that HR truly that's career, I would say it's a calling. If you don't have it, don't venture into it.
I think I agree with you.
Because I see people do HR. I mean, I receive complaints from friends, family, people I mentor, etc., from other places who try to say that it's as if you are different. I'm telling you, it's like a calling. You see the way a pastor has a calling to, because it is managing people. And you need to understand that you are not just managing the people by the fact that they come to work. When it comes to that profession, if that is how you would want to be an HR, please, you can't do it. Because remember, when people are coming, they are coming from home. They bring a lot of backlog from home, etc. So you need to really train yourself. And apart from that too, try as much as possible to know the people that are under you individually. I tell people that if you're a leader, know how to manage people individually. Because look, you can have people in the same department who have come from various diverse backgrounds. Apart from that, they went to different schools, they came from different environments, they go from to different churches, they are in different denominations, religious backgrounds, etc. So if you lump all of them up and decide that you are going to manage them the same way, hello, you can't. So it is something that you need to develop. Being able to identify the skills of people differently, their capacities, etc. And apart from that, be constant engagement. Okay. Try as much as possible to be in the faces of the people. I have staff who are not in Accra, but once in a while, I talk to them behind closed things in as much as they are not in Accra, and I'm still managing them. When people come up with issues that are not even work related, I try as much as possible to be really involved, meaning that somebody may have a problem from the house. And when the person comes up with a challenge, you know that, oh, this one, it is not only about work. It has a root cause from somewhere. So you go in there, you ask the questions, because let me tell you, when people they are at peace in their home, in the environment they are in, etc., in their relationships, in their friendships, in family, in their family issues, etc., they give up their best. I can tell you, if you have peace, you will always give your best. So when they come into the workspace, they'll give off their best. But if you are not a person who can manage people as far as that, then you always have problems, because there is no lazy person. And like, how would I say it? Yes, there's no lazy person. It is you trying to look at the person and putting the person in the right space, in the right fit. And that is what I try to do, especially when you come in and I watch you for some time. When recommendations come, I give recommendations and say that, oh, this person can fit very well, or give this job to this person. The person can do it. Try to do that. So it is very, very important, in a nutshell, that you need to be a holistic HR for you to be able to come as far as that. And that is quite a lot of work. That's why I say that it's a calling. Honestly.
So if you don't have the calling, don't even try.
Don't try it.
I mean, I will agree with you, because I've come across a little bit few of people that they tell you that they're into the HR field. But sometimes when you have a conversation with them, you ask them whether indeed they are actually an HR. Because some people, even when you enter into their office, when you are even telling them your problems and things, they get annoyed. And yeah, they get annoyed. Even some of the feedbacks that you even get from them, even you working for them, it pulls you down. And I've had a lot of people who come to me to ask me, so what role does an HR play in an institution? Because they feel like an HR, you should be like the center between, like you are the middleman for your workers and then the management. So if someone is suffering, you should know what is going on for you to maybe channel that particular grievances to the management. Then if you can do something about it, they do it. But there's the ones where you go to them, Charlie, the book crowd, they get annoyed for you bringing your problem to them.
To them.
Yes. And I've come across to that. I realized that most of these problems with workers when it comes to the HR, it always has to do with salary. It always has to do with salary.
I disagree with you.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It doesn't always have to do with salary. There are a lot of issues that crop up in the workspace that's not salary based. There are people who even leave an organization not because of money, just because of leadership.
Okay.
Because they don't have the right leaders in their space, their supervisors are not doing things right for them to. So it is not just about money. Because you see, life is not just about money. There are some people, no matter what they receive, if you are somebody who can mentor them well, give them good coach, give them skills, I mean, you are there for them, etc., and your leadership is right, they will be with you forever. Yes. So it is not just about money. There are a whole lot of other things that happens in a space. There are some people sometimes also get peeved because they feel that, for them, they are entitled to something that you have not given to them. Do you understand? So they are peeved. And they decide to leave.
So in such, how do you handle such problems?
Oh, you see, it's not something that is cut in stone. That is why I'm saying that it is important as an HR to manage people individually. I can tell you for a fact that with all the people I have under me, I treat people differently. I treat people differently. As I interact with you one-on-one or maybe in meetings, etc., I'm able to identify your temperament, how you behave, when you are down, when you get angry, the way you react. So I know what to tell you at a particular time that you don't flip. Hope you understand. So it's difficult. It's a lot of work. The most important thing is that don't crumple everybody together and treat them in the same way. Try as much as possible. When you come to my management people, I treat everybody differently because look, they all don't have the same temperament. Okay, they all don't have the same experiences in life. That's why I'm saying that the HR thing is a very broad and a big thing, and so you identify that you will need to treat people differently. It will be very difficult for you to manage people. Because people are not easily managed. Imagine that somebody went to school in a very prime school, went to a very prestigious university, lives, yes, Assassin University. Yeah, exactly. And then the person has a different kind of culture in that university space. Somebody too has gone to, excuse me to say, an university that maybe is not that prestigious, maybe even whatever the person was taught, the environment, the person's perceptions, okay, are different. When you have those two different people in the workplace and you want to treat them the same way, you'll not get the best out of them. Do you understand me? So it is for you to identify that the Ashasi person will come to you with a lot of innovation, creativity. If this cannot be done, let's do it this way. Work, give you pressure because they always want to be there. The other person too may come and is able to give you something. Sometimes you even identify this person can do more. So how do you treat that person? How do you give that person counsel, or who is the right person to put that person under so that that person can explore and become better? So it is an individual differences thing. And one other thing I also want to say is that as an HR person, when people are not doing very well in teams, you just move them out.
I was even coming to that. I'd wanted to ask. So in an institution where you have workers who are not doing, because it's an institution, so much is expected of everybody who is working there. So sometimes you identify people who are not doing so well. In such cases, do you call them to talk to them to identify or point what they are not doing right and all that?
There are processes and procedures in every workplace. And when people are not doing well, the most important, first and foremost, you need to ask. It's very important to have the conversation because you'll be surprised to know, one, when the person, ever since the person came there, has the person not been doing well? Okay, that is one thing. or the person used to do well and is now not doing well. So you need to find out, especially if the person was doing well and is not doing well now. You need to find out why the person is not doing well. Sometimes you'll be surprised to know that the person may have a family problem.
That's causing
Yes, a relationship problem that is making the person lose focus, or the person may be going through an issue that is bothering the person, that is taking all the person's time, and that is why the person is off or has that shortfall. So if you can help that person to solve the problem, help the person to solve the problem and improve. But if maybe ever since the person came into your organization, the person has never been improved, you put the person on something we call PIP, performance improvement. Give the person guidelines. Okay. Call the person with the supervisor together, let them give guidance, then give the person. Sometimes you ask, is it a resource? Is it a tool? Is it anything that is happening between the team that is making the person not being able to perform? After you've asked those questions, because some people are not very good in certain teams, especially when you have shy people enter a team that is loud. They may not perform because for them, they can scream. So because they can scream, they are always at the background. Nobody is identifying, but the person may be good. So if there is a possibility you can move the person, you move the person. If there's no possibility, then you need to give the person skills that can make the person become confident. So that the person, which means that in every team meeting, that person, you need to pay a special attention by drawing the person closer, asking the person questions, being intentional. Okay. So I say that nobody is a wrong or cannot be used in the workplace. If the person is not doing well in that department, is there anything that excites the person? That may be from a different, because there are people who have interest. So you'll be surprised to know that in their department, they may not be doing well, but they have a particular interest. And before you say, Jack, put the person in that department, and you'll be like, wow. So you can do all this. So it is very important to have engagement. Be very interactive with your staff. It helps a lot. So as an HR, you really need to have an open door policy. Your people, you must be somebody that is very empathic to. The people must be able to come to you. They must be able to open up to you. And it is an individual thing as a person. If you don't have that, it will be difficult. That is when you have challenges. So for me, unless you have been given several opportunities, it doesn't work out, and then you take the people out of the team. Because there are people too that don't change. Unfortunately,
They're
sometimes
very intentional about that.
they don't change. This is how I am. You can't change me, etc. Those you can't do anything for. So if you have to let them go, you let them go.
I think that is the hardest part of when it comes to your work.
Oh yes, it's a very difficult situation to let people go. When you are disengaging people, especially on issues of performance, it's very difficult.
But I can also say I'm sure some people enjoy that. The reason why I'm saying that is, you see, I've also come to the realization that before I started working in an institution, I've always seen the HR person as a very strict person. Not until I entered into an institution, I realized that they are more like the coolest people you can actually talk to. But the perception, because growing up, all what I know about HR is that and those kind of things. So that perception grew up in my head.
You are not wrong though. Most people know HR to be hiring and firing.
Yes.
That is what they do,
Yes.
etc. But I'm telling you, HR has gone beyond that. You see, now HR is at a place where you need to make sure that things function in a workplace very well. Looking for the right fit, etc. I tell people that my tagline as an HR person is to hire character and train skill. Because these days, in the age in which we are, if you hire anybody who has a very good character, you can train the person. Especially when you come into a space like my space, which is a creative space. So far as the person has talent, and the person has character, the person is willing to listen and learn, you are good to go. Because you can not be, I tell when I'm doing orientation for people, I tell them that you cannot be highly skilled and you don't have character. How will you function in a team?
You're not going to
You always bring team problems. You always bring team problems. So when you have a very good character, I'm not saying that skill is not important. That is not what I'm saying. Skill is very important. But when you add character to it, you say your attitude determines your altitude.
Yes.
You see? So with the right attitude, you will definitely get to an altitude where you want to get to. So I believe that that should be it. You have skill, good. Add the right attitude, add character, and you are good to go.
Excellent. So add character. The character is very important.
Yes.
When you have character like Ima, you go to places.
Exactly.
Okay, so let's go a little bit deep. Now, in the working space, okay, we have, like you said, we have so many people coming from different backgrounds, different attitudes, and all that. How do you sometimes handle when it comes to emotional problems? There are times you even come, some people have this kind of sexual harassment in all this working space. How do you handle such instances when it happens?
This is not easy. For issues of emotions, you as an HR person, you need to be at least a very emotionally intelligent person. And for every workplace, there are rules. Okay, there are rules. When you come into my space, issues like sexual harassment, there are rules to it. See, what you do is that each time you engage your staff, just need to give them reminders and let them know that, look, this thing is wrong, don't do. But when it comes up, do a proper investigation. Because you see, sometimes too, some people too are just up against others.
Okay.
Because maybe Fredrick, right? I have a beef with Fredrick. If Fredrick can do something, I can easily come and say that he's sexually harassing me, but it may not be true. Just because maybe at one time, maybe Fredrick has shown interest, but now it's not going on. But something has happened. I want to tie him to it. So the most important thing is to investigate. Okay, do some form of investigation. Make sure that issue is true before you move forward, because you just don't allow people to just come and tell you something and then you follow through with whatever the people are saying. If it is true, call them differently. Ask the right questions. Okay. And just as I said, HR is a calling. Me, personally, let me tell you, I pray a lot. So sometimes when you are seated before me and you are lying, the Holy Spirit just tell me you are lying. So I'll ask you severally in different ways to see if this was true or not. Okay. So when you are able to this, go back. Sometimes you even need to investigate the people outside work.
Okay.
If you can get hold of places they visit outside work, you can look through their social media. Sometimes looking through people's social media can easily tell you the kind of person they are. Do you
So
agree?
HR, yes, I agree. HR goes that far.
Yeah, sometimes you have to, especially depending on the kind of problem or issue that is at hand, investigate properly. If it's possible to call a family member, have a conversation. The person may not even know that you are investigating whoever. Hope you understand.
Yeah.
Call a friend, and then you take it through there. If it is true, you follow through the processes that are on the policies of the organization. Unless, and I keep telling people, in this space, it's a space where we are all adults. So nobody can tell you not to be in a particular relationship or not. What I tell them is that make sure whatever you think that you are doing should not affect work. Okay? In any way. If you think that you don't like Whatever somebody is doing, come talk about it. Let's speak about it. And when you have the conversations, they get to understand. Because, sexual harassment is that bad because at the end of the day, it doesn't just affect the individual who is involved. It goes as bad as affecting the organization in totality. So it is no more an individual thing. That is why it is something that I take very serious in the space in which I am. Because when the person is called out in the wrong space, maybe you don't get to hear it in the office and it's somewhere, was it last year or so, we had the issue between the National Service lady and the chief operations officer. You see how bad it was, even for the bank. Yes. Meanwhile, that was an individual who has decided to do whatever he feels like. So it is something that very difficult to discuss, but you have to. It's a conversation that you need to have if the issue comes up to you. And you need to attach all forms of seriousness to it so that the organization in its totality doesn't get affected.
I asked that question based because normally when we have a conversation like this, we put the topics on our social media platforms.
Okay.
We interact with the fans to tell us the questions they want us to ask.
Okay.
So we had a question where a guy came to our DM to tell us that we should ask the person will be interviewed of the HR this question. Apparently, he had a little bit of encounter with someone at a workplace. To him, he said the person normally wears very, excuse me to say, posing dress when she's coming to the office. She's known to be dressing that way. And everybody talks about it. So there was a time where, to him, he feels he was complimenting her by saying, hey, I say, excuse my language, I say, to people. And the lady felt like she has been harassed. So she reported the case, and the case took a different turn. And she was suspended. He was suspended. And then he said he was in the house now, and then he got a letter to an email again to that.
He's been dismissed.
What you need. Yeah, you understand? And he felt so bad because this is somebody that he felt he didn't sexually harass the person. He just felt like I was giving out a compliment. So that's why I asked. So in instance like this.
So let me tell you, sexual harassment is not just you trying to touch a person. Except, look, it comes in all forms, cues. What he said is a sexual harassment sentence. I tell people when I'm doing orientation, nobody has the right in the workplace to tell you, hey, your boobs are nice, your boobs are big, no. You are sexually, it's like sex talking the person. No, that is wrong. You don't have to. That doesn't also have to say that the ladies should dress anyhow anyhow to the workplace. Yeah. At least decency in all forms, it's okay. Okay? You don't have to come in like Mary Magdalene, dress like Jesus' Mother Mary. No. But at least you need to be decent. But you see, discipline. Discipline. If you are not disciplined, you can get yourself into trouble. You need to be emotionally disciplined, mentally disciplined. Yes, men. When I'm doing authorization, I tell the ladies that, let me tell you, as for men, they were created to see. You cannot prevent them from seeing. That is how they have been naturally made. But the men, in as much as you were created to see, you need to discipline and remove your eyes if you think that what you are seeing is worrying you.
Sometimes it's difficult.
It's worrying you because if you are not a disciplined person, you'll be caught in some of this. Look, there are people who do facial expressions just to give you sex cues. I'm telling you, yeah. Just to give you sex cues. Or just I'm saying they talk. Your dressing and your boobs and your shape. And a lot of people will tell you that. It's not a lot of people. If you Google sexual harassment, Google it now and see the things that will come up as things that can be used as sexual harassment. So even if you are not careful the way you are speaking to somebody and then you are categorical. So I always tell people, if you are among people and a male colleague says something and you are not comfortable, speak out in that space. so that everybody who is present at the time realizes that it is something you don't like. Don't laugh in that space. And then when you leave the space, you go and see the person maybe somewhere and speak to the person. Others will not know. So far as you laughed, we all believe that, if you laugh, you are okay with it.
So I might also try.
Yes, but when you are not okay, be emotionally intelligent, assertive enough. Use the right words to tell the person that I beg to differ. With this, I am not comfortable. I don't want you to tell me that again. For which I feel that what the speech you made doesn't sit well with me. Don't insult the person. I mean, just speak up your mind. Okay? But if you don't do that, all present think that you have agreed. So when you go somewhere and come and say, look, that thing that you told me the other time, be careful not to tell me again. It's wrong. Say it in the presence of others. So please tell the gentleman that it was off key. The moment the person feels sexually harassed, there's a sentence you have made. I remember somebody came to me with an issue where she was so uncomfortable about a manager. Each time that manager sees her, it's like the person is not in my organization, but another person say, hey, so one and two it here. Meet me show one and two and sebio and a
Hey.
Yeah. You see, you are sexually harassing the person. You're sexually harassing the person. So you need to be very careful of your utterances. That's why I'm saying that, you are a man. You've been made to see. But if the sin is going to cause problems for you, please shut your eyes or turn it away completely.
So are guys or men also allowed to report for sexual harassment?
Of course, yes.
Because there are times, you have people at the workplace, ladies that, and I like your body, and sometimes they go as far as touching you and all that.
It is wrong. It is wrong. Okay, to an extent. There are people I will say that I continue to say that I was not somebody who really liked hugs until I came into this environment. I realized that, people hug you. So I managed. Okay, good. But everything has a limit to it. So sexual harassment is for both male and female. And in recent times, for the past few years, I have made people aware that it is even no more male-female or female-male, but it's now even female-female, male-male. We cannot close our eyes and say it's not happening. Okay? Who can harass you? So your female colleague as a female person can harass you. Your male colleague as a male person can harass you. And it comes in all forms. There are people who send texts, who send you all kinds of texts, send you images, etc. It's all part of harassment. Not the fact that it's on the phone, so I have not touched the person. What are you trying to tell me when you are sending me those texts, those words, and those pictures or videos, etc.? What does it connote? Okay, so some way, somehow. So please, sexual harassment is for both genders, whether male or female. And I say again, it is no more male female. Now you have female female, male male, and we should not pretend that it is not happening. That is one thing. As Africans and as Ghanaians, sometimes we pretend in the space that you can't have a lesbian in the space, you can't have somebody who is gay, etc. I am not against it because just as you said, I'm a sexuality counselor. I am not against it. But if you are uncomfortable, speak out. Speak out.
Because sometimes the men feel like they don't take our, should I say, problems when it comes to that harassment serious.
No.
Because sometimes it's true. People actually can go as far as when I go and report, but they feel say, Obama dear, yeah, Miss Adia, me, I like it. I like it. But maybe the guy is also not comfortable about it. So sometimes
there are people who are not very comfortable in terms of touch. Even not just females, but males. They are not very comfortable with touch. So if you are too touchy with them, they can be a bit, yes, it's not a fear, but a little bit aggressive. Some can be aggressive. So that's why I'm saying, look, Even look, even among colleagues, learn to know your colleagues differently. Don't bundle everybody up and say that because we all met here, we are all working in the maybe the digital department or the camera department. We are all same. No, we are all same.
Okay. So now let's talk about technology.
Okay.
We've gotten to a space where right now technology they do about 80% of our work now. Now, even sometimes when you give people work, they don't even need to use heads anymore. They say they are working smart instead of working hard. They just put it into an AI system. AI can generate everything for them. All they need to do is copy and paste. And then they feel like they've done the work. As an HR person, how do you equip yourself with such technology in the system? How is your work here? So how are these people able to equip themselves in this modern era of technology?
So I would say that in the era in which we are, it's true, a lot of things are coming up. And just as you are saying, yes, it's an age where you work smart, not work hard. But in working smart, you also have to have knowledge, not just the fact that the tool is available, you just use. So, because if you don't learn and you want to use the tool, you may use it wrongly. We can take example. You have been given an assignment, and because you think that ChatGTP is available, just go and type anything. No, you need to know how to learn prompts. So you give training. You see, we train our people. Last year, I think two times or so, we gave training when we wanted to really go all digital, etc., to our people. We trained them. We showed them digital tools that are available, what they can use it for, what they are ready to use it for, and then even taught them how to generate all these prompts, etc. Yes, it can be used, but what I'm saying is that acquire the skill to use them. And believe you me, a lot of people, there's this conversation about the fact that, oh, and there's a lot of AI tools that are coming up to take up our job. It's not true.
Yes.
Chat GTP, is it taking your job?
Not at the moment.
Good. Canva, is it taking your job? Who has to let it work?
Yourself.
Good. You must learn how to use it. So in this age, what I would say is that, yes, the technology is available, but learn how to use them, not just to use them, and be intentional in your learning. Be intentional in your learning and learn things that can help your career and the organization that you find yourself. Don't just learn because, oh, the tool is learning, so people are learning, so me too, I'm learning. No. It's very, very distracting when you are learning like that. So you end up learning things that you don't need or are not even beneficial for your organization. So it's a good thing. I would not say it's bad because it all helps us to reduce the time we work in actual fact. So it's a good thing, but make sure that you acquire the skill to use the tool properly. But there are a lot of people who use JATV and they don't use it right.
Yeah.
Yes, they don't use it right.
So to talk about technology itself again, do the HR system provide any form of mentorship for workers? Like you stated earlier on, sometimes you do a little bit of training for the workers to equip themselves with some of the prompts that are coming up. Now we are talking about mentorship. I have a colleague who is an IT person, but very interested in wanting to go to the HR field. Like you said, you have, if it's a college, he also has this kind of leadership skills that he can talk to you. I mean, he gives a very good advice. For that one, I'll tell you. When you have a problem and then you talk to him, he gives a very good advice. But here lies the case. He's an IT person.
You are cake. I would even want to tell you that currently there is HR with IT. Yes. When they are hiring, they are looking for people who have HR. It's a position. You need to have HR with IT. So that one, it's even very easy, which means that you are an HR person, but you must be IT inclined, seriously IT inclined. So it's very simple. The person just has to build on his own personal skills and do some schooling with the HR bits. And you see, another thing too is that there are lots of ways to school. We have both traditional and non-traditional. Currently, with all the tools that we have a lot of courses that are even online.
Free.
That you can do. Yes, free.
Free course.
That you can do and just educate yourself.
Some
and some even
gives you
comes with certificates. Yes. So educate yourself. So it is even much simpler because maybe you have already majored in a particular field. So it is even much simpler to be able to get into that space. Then you look out for somebody who is in the space, just as we are talking, to mentor you.
That's the question.
Okay.
I wanted to ask. Whether
To
there's some
mentor you.
mentorship programs that are organized,
Of course, yes.
various organizations for people like that who are interested. They are a different, like you said, different department, but they want to move from that department to a different department.
Effectively in HR, there's something we call succession planning. So succession planning comes with you identifying people who are possible people who can take up positions in different places and in the organization if the time comes up and maybe somebody quits the space, etc. So in an organized environment, when you identify people like that, what you do is that somehow, you align them with the people who are already in that space. Sometimes from the beginning, you will not even tell any of them. It is because you have identified the potential. So you will not even tell whoever is mentoring or the mentee. So you just try as much as possible to put them in teams where you see how they work better. Okay? How they work better. And then as time goes on, you realize that, oh, these people are cool together. Then you can tell the supervisor that I want you to mentor this guy or this lady for me because I see the lady as so that tomorrow that person can assist you, etc. It depends. Look, when you go outside, mentorship programs are exclusively organized. But in Ghana, they also do. There are mentors and coaches, people who are available to do such things. Just that most of these people are equally busy. They are very busy people. But when you are somebody who is ready to serve, you can have the attention of those people. Unfortunately, I may say, the up and coming ones of today, the greatest challenge they have is service.
I agree. I agree
You see,
100%.
it's service because let me tell you, I had a mentor, Dr. Kudono, and your name Kudono. She's a lecturer at Asasi University. I love that woman. I approached her for her to be because I loved the way she could lecture, etc. And you see, service is not just you being around the person, but you going out of your way to serve. Hope you understand me. Going out of your way to serve. Because these days, excuse me, Gen Zs.
It's happy.
I tell you, because of the way our world is moving with the AIs, content creation, etc. The field of work is no more the way it used to be,
It's true.
There's a lot of eruptions and things are happening. Now you can even sit in your one corner in your room and be making money without involving anybody. So they think that is what it is. Nobody has to interfere into my space. But we can never replace the natural interaction through humans with machines. Why? Because machines are not empathic. Machines are not friendly. Machines, that human side is not there with machines. Okay? So you need to encounter that human side of people to catch the attention when it comes to mentorship. So as for mentorship, because I remember when we were growing up, there was a lot of mentoring, a lot. But these days,
Hardly.
you hardly find it because everybody thinks they are right. Even those who are, the moment they get a camera and put on themselves and they are doing something, hey, they are on social media, things, then they think that, oh, they can be okay. But when you are sad, do you go to your social media people?
No. You don't do that.
When you have an issue and you want to speak to somebody, this is where mentors and coaches come in. And in life, where do you want to get to? So it is up to you as a person to be ready to be mentored. Because these mentors too, they are very busy. They are not people you can easily get on a daily basis. So you can't just go there and you are just doing anything and they'll just be watching anything that they want to waste time on you. No. So if we could have our Gen Zs being a little bit serviceable, intentional in their careers, they have chosen the path they have chosen, etc. And you can even have more than one mentor, right? Yes, you can make somebody mentor you in your career. You can make somebody mentor you spiritually. You can make somebody mentor you in terms of your leadership route that you are taking, and even mentor you as a family person. Somebody mentor you as a family person. You can be a father who wants to be great, a very good father for his kids. You can look for somebody who has also been a very good father before to help you do that. So it is not cut in stone where you think that, oh, I have this person mentoring me in it, or that every issue I take to the person. No, there are people who are not experts in certain things. Okay. If you have a relationship issues, you need to look for somebody else. It is not where you take your career issues from that you need to, because maybe the person may not be a relationship expert. Do you understand me? So it depends what we have. Just let's tell agencies to try and be service. It doesn't matter what you have achieved in life. You will forever need people. Machines can never. Our phones and cameras can never replace the, how do you call it, the human interactions that we have. So they may be doing very well successfully, but they may not be doing very well in their relationships. I say that is why they need mentors.
Somebody said
Hope you
you're even
understand.
very depressed people.
It is not somebody said, it is the truth.
You're very depressed.
It is the truth, because in this time and age, you see that there is a lot of issue of suicide. Why a lot of people who are having suicidal issues? Why is it so? They're always with their machines. And the gadgets are not friendly. You need the human space. It is humans who have feelings. It is humans that you can properly interact with, and then you have some form of peace. Machine tell you as it is. But you see, for humans, they will find a way to tell you so that your soul can be at peace. Okay. When a machine needs to insult you, to insult you. It's a machine.
Yeah.
Of course, it's a machine.
To it.
And that please, you see. A machine can easily tell you that, why do you put this prompt in me? I can't help you.
Some of them will even tell you they have no idea about it.
You see. But for humans, so that human touch is very, 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 very important. We are too glued to our gadgets, which is not even helping the world as a whole. Yes. There are things that have been come. I believe that if we could know how to use them properly, it will be good for society as a whole.
Interesting. We've gotten to the part of this segment where we finish 5 questions from our viewers and then we ask you. They always send us questions to ask. So we have 5 questions for you. This is coming directly from our viewers. So if you are ready, we'll go with the first one.
Okay.
Okay. So someone said I should ask you, okay, that how do remote workers stay connected and engage with their colleagues and team leaders?
When you talk about remote, well, remote means that we are all not physically present in a place. So these days, you can use a lot of tools. We have Google Teams, we have Zoom, etc. At the end of the day, you can have sections. Zoom call where we discuss, we interact, and then once a while, you create an in-person thing, unless it is extremely difficult to apply. I know people who have, during the COVID era, people had parties on Zoom.
Yeah.
People had weddings on Zoom. So it is a possibility where we are all cheering and having fun. Okay? I'm showing my cup. I'm showing you what is in there. I'm showing my cake, or at least with the interaction. And so you see that even with the machines, you are still using human beings. So when people say that, yeah, it's going to take, no, it's not going to wipe out the human this thing. Yes, some may automatically, but you still need people to use them well. So I believe that with remote work, all those tools can be used to keep the people in constant check.
So it's been very impactful for.
Oh, if you see, it depends also on the organization.
Okay.
Remote work cannot happen in all organizations. It depends. Hospitals cannot do remote work. Okay. So it depends on the organization that is using the remote work as part of their. So some organizations have 3 days in, 2 days out, or 2 days out, or some have 2 weeks out, 1 day in. I have a friend who is an HR person in a particular space. She goes to work twice in 2 weeks, physically. But from home, she's working from home. So it is so anytime there is a meeting, they go physically to meet. But the rest of the job, they do it when they need to meet a client, then they go out to meet the clients, etc. But the office space, they come as and when it is extremely important to meet in the space. So all you do is that you just put it up KPIs. The person is meeting his KPI, their performance indicators that you put in place to make sure that the people are meeting their performance targets that you have given them. And then you are good to go. So just as I said from the beginning, as for there are a lot of eruptions in the place of work. And as an organization, when it comes into your space and you need to have a look at it, you just have to sit down, draft policies regarding those things, train the people, because you can also just stand up and start remote work. The people need to be trained. If you need to give them gadgets that they are going to work from home, etc., you need to train them, etc., at the end of the day before you start implementing. And even sometimes you need to do try and error to see whether it works for your space before you finally roll it out in the space and then you go on to it. So as for remote work, it is not for everybody. But there are some places too that cannot do remote work. Yes.
Like you said, the example is the hospital.
Yeah, example the
I mean,
hospital.
you can't be in the house and be curing somebody.
No. In as much as somebody will say that, but now you have doctors who you say online and those things. Yes. But when push comes to shove, they ask you to come in. Yeah. They ask you to come in. That's what the physical will not do away with it entirely. But I will say that sometimes the place of work has become better. It has become better.
Okay. Our second question. This person wants to know 5 things to look out to when coming for an interview. As an HR person, the person believes that, okay, so I'm coming for an interview for a job. What are 5 things that you can advise or something you can tell them? Where you're coming, hey, look out for these 5 things. That will guarantee me maybe taking you or picking you for the job.
This is not a cutting stone. Like,
yeah,
you say that strictly, but everybody, you know that you are coming for an interview. Time is of essence. You've been asked to be at a place at 10 o'clock. Even if you come at 10:05, you are late. Even if you come at 10:01, you are late.
The pressure is even,
you know. So get into the space early. Familiarize yourself with the space, and then come well prepared. You just don't come especially if you know where you are going or the particular organization that you are going to. Research the organization. Things you don't know, ask people, oh, do you have a friend in this space? Yes, can I talk to the person? Find out a few things. Okay, don't just come and when they are asking questions. And remember, it is not about your first class that you are. Because I've seen people with first class and stuff, senior properly educated, coming into an interview space and they
It's like
can't
a
give
first class
you,
near top.
they can't even give you anything simple. So do your research well. Do your research well. Be in a very good composure. And then, what other thing? Dressing. Dressing. Appearance is extremely important. Remember, you be addressed the way you are dressed. So how you present yourself, that is how the people will address you. Don't come into an interview space shabbily dressed.
I think I agree with you. Recently, an incident popped up on social media where the guy was going for he was going for a social media group and an organization. And you know, social media, the person feels like it's just social media. So I don't need to put on the normal attacking and no. And he
Not
went
at
with
all.
his hair that kind of way, with that kind of you, because it's a social media person.
Not at all.
Okay.
Not at all. That is why that is where character comes in. Because yes, it is not, the job is not you. Social media, you do the thing on. But when you are come into the space like a well-respected somebody, the way you want people to address you, the way you want people to approach you. Because look, I can tell you for a fact that sometimes when you enter, the way you address the room, it calms the panel down. They see you and sometimes even think in their head that, oh, Charlie, this Jack there is a dude like, yeah. Yeah. You know, sometimes because look, that is why a lot of people, you know, a friend was telling me that all these 419 people, when you meet them, nobody, you can't even believe that they are 419.
It's true.
Yes. So your appearance is very, very important. Appearance to an interview is very, very important. Extremely important. Some people will come with the lateness and be sweaty and be cleaning their
Yeah.
faces. No.
I mean, I've been to an interview like that before. I got there very late. And I realized that even the time I got there, to even appear in front of the panel, I was not even prepared. There was pressure because you were rushing. And Tiago said everything
It is very uncomfortable.
Yes, you really forgot
because
about
most of the time you don't even know the panel members you are
Yeah.
meeting. And then you need to come into an interview space with emotional intelligence. Because sometimes, maybe, some questions may throw off. And then if you're not emotionally intelligent, you may react in a particular way. So you need to have all your senses in place. Okay? All your sensing is there. I mean, it comes with your emotions. Be assertive as possible. Sometimes people also go into a workspace, so trying to downplay to an interview, trying to downplay the former places they came from. Don't do that. Whenever you are living here and going there doesn't mean that.
Very.
Not at all, because you never know.
You don't even know who the person knows. Very
you
important.
never know who is on the panel.
Very important.
Yeah. Never know who is on the panel. So you need to be very, very circumspect when you go into a place of interview.
I mean, I've also had that experience that you just said. I also was an interview. I went into an interview where the person read my CV and the person already knows the question. So when I sat down, when he got to his turn to ask, the only question he asked was, I heard your former place you are coming from. You guys they were not paying you and all that. And I told the person that then that's not where I was working. Because where I was working, they pay. Our pay counts every time. So wherever they heard that from, I don't know where they heard that from. After the interview, the man approached me and told me that he knew I was lying. But the fact that I was able to convince them to speak well of my company, it means even if they give me the chance, If something goes well, I'll speak
Because
well of
that's
it.
one, he was trying to test
Yes.
your confidentiality level. Because in the interview space, they test all kinds. That is why I say come with a lot of emotional intelligence. They try to test test all kinds of things. Depending also on the role they are giving you.
Yeah.
So they will want to know if you are somebody who will reveal secrets to people. Are you somebody who will take money? So they will ask you questions and ask you all kinds of things in a particular way.
At the end of the day, I even rejected their offer.
Yeah.
They managed to give me the offer and I rejected it. I only rejected it for one part. I felt like whatever things I was working with were coming from, they were not having those
things.
So I felt like maybe going there and maybe going back. Instead of me going forward, I'm going back. So I rejected their offer. So I think what you are saying is key. You don't need to always down.
No. It is not in your place. Let the organization take care of their problems.
Yeah.
It is not in your space.
Okay, so we are back to our third question. I think this one you even answered it in our question. Okay, so the person also wants to know what steps can an individual take for an effective advocate for women and children? This is your
Okay. Being an effective women and children advocate, let me tell you, I always emphasize learn. If you're advocating for women, learn, be interested in women issues. Okay. You need to even go and read things about the whole woman anatomy and know why women are even reacting to issues in a certain way. Okay. If it is about children, read, learn. Put yourself in a space where you advocate for such. That is why I, in actual fact, went to do the counseling. Because based on my education, and so I wouldn't have even got to certification for counseling. But I needed it. When I went to those space, I realized that, Charlie, the thing we're even calling counseling and you think you are doing, Charlie, it is not completely, that is what it is. What you are doing is like you are advising people. No. In terms of counseling, you only aid people to take a solution. When you are counseling people, you aid them to take a solution. So if you have an issue and you come to me, I am not supposed to tell you what to do. I am to guide you to achieve what you want to do. Okay. So my I would say that I shouldn't be the one saying that, making the decisions. My decisions may matter, but what my decisions needs to do is to help you.
Be like a guide path.
Yes, to achieve the result. And that is not what people call counseling in Ghana. They think that they must tell you, go this way, step that way, do that way. No.
And I think majority of counselors here in Ghana make that mistakes.
You are to help the people so that they will achieve results.
Because right now you get people telling you that, and I went to see a counselor, and the counselor said I should do this, so that's why I'm doing that. You get a lot of people saying that.
No. If the discussions you were having, and as you progress, the counselor realizes that, oh, okay, that is where, so you both agree that, okay, that is where you are going to, okay, then get at it. It is only when maybe where the two of you, the counselor sees that, hey, where it's going to, it may end up in murder or, something that is not right, then that one, even that one is supposed to guide you to take a different route to achieve the results. Because believe you me, when you are counseling people and you involve them a lot, they don't want to make mistakes, because at the end of the day, the decisions are coming from them. And because of that, they see it as a duty to perform. Okay? Or to go along with the decision, or to make them happy. Do you get it? To make them happy. So in terms of women, children issues, be there for them. Okay? Listen to them. Learn things about them. Learn things about them, because let me tell you, you cannot be a women's advocate when you don't even know how the biological clock of women is. So when a woman is in, let's say, leadership, in her youthful years, she'll act in a certain way. When she's going to a particular, she'll act in a certain way. when she's at a particular stage, she will act in a certain way just because of how the person has been composed naturally. But sometimes there are people who don't know. They are just like, no way, I'm starting on this. Oh,
Babasu.
you see, so sometimes you will not even know that the biological clock of the person is making the person react in it. So when you know that, you know how to advise the person to behave. So those things, knowledge, bro, is very powerful. Very, very powerful. So each time you seek knowledge, it helps. It actually helps for you to be able to do those things. And just as I said, be available when situations of women and children come up. Yes, be available.
Okay, so this person also wants to know what are your personal thoughts and feelings about traditional office hours and flexible work arrangement.
It depends on every
The
organization.
9 to 5.
It depends on every organization. If at the end of the day, an organization has the kind of job they do, they cannot have flexible hours, maybe working from home, etc. There is nothing you can do about it. Okay? The only thing you can do about such things is that not to overburden the people so they become too stressed and then performance is wrong. No. Find a way around it. Maybe they are running shifts and those things that helps them to be able to take time off and distress, etc. But where you can have a flexible space whereby we can say that, okay, for starting from the week, we can have 3 days in, 2 days out, etc. Let it happen. Because at the end of the day, when people are overstretched and stressed, they don't perform. They say all work and no play.
Makes Jack a dull boy.
And all play and no work.
That one I don't know.
It's like a lazy boy.
It makes Jack a lazy boy.
Yes, you become lazy and you will not be able to focus. So
Yeah.
you see, let's take it from that angle. If it is an organization who can institute the flexible, institute it. Just as I'm saying, give your people the training. First, management should be able to sit down, look if it is feasible. Because believe you me, it's not every organization that is feasible. When you are watching international news these days, or because of the era of social media, you know, even the BBCs and the things, sometimes even have people who are working from home who just put their phones on and then they broadcast the news from there. And when it is time, they zoom them and then they do that, you know. But remember, those people, it just didn't happen. When you go to the flip side of it, they carefully sat down, they thought through, they gave them equipment, resources were made available, they gave them training, etc. before. So you just don't do it. But if it is possible, you do. In our space, these things have just started coming up and we are learning through the faces in the Ghanaian society. Even though there are certain workplaces I have heard who are, especially the people in the tech space, for them, all they need is what? Their laptop and data. They are good
Aside
to
from
go.
data, just the software.
Exactly. Yes, everything is running and is monitoring, and there's no difficulty with that. So they can function in that space very well. But a place where it didn't used to be there, it was not even part of your processes and procedures at all, and it's coming back. Just roll it out in faces. Yes, roll it out in faces. So for me, it is something that can be done. Yes, but just that you need to make sure that you put in the right processes, the right resources, etc. Give the people the right training so that at the end of the day, performance, everything you do as an organization, performance is key. So we should just make sure that performance is to the uttermost. That is the most important thing. Performance is happening. Yes. You're achieving the results.
And this is our final question. This has to do with your transformational journey. Someone was like, as a transformational speaker, What key message do you always aim to deliver to your audience?
I would say focus.
All right. So the key word is focus. I was only waiting for just one word, and she gave us one word. So just focus. So, Madam Dorcas, it's been very lovely. It's been very impactful. I've learned a lot today. I want to say thank you so much for your time.
You're welcome.
And thank you for educating us. I'm sure our audience, they've learned a lot. So we say thank you.
Thank you too for inviting me. I hope next time we'll be back again.
We'll surely be back again. We'll surely do a part
Thank
2
you.
of this. I've learned a lot today. So, but like I said, okay, just leave a comment in our comment section and then we'll attend to the comments. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel. And as we always say, we'll see you next time. Bye.